Out here, where the road winds toward the clouds and the desert brushes against the sky, we arrive at one of the most underrated treasures in the national park system, Great Basin National Park. This region is part of the ancestral homeland of the Western Shoshone people, who have lived here for generations, long before it was called a park. In this place, ancient bristlecone pines cling to rocky slopes, caves run deep beneath the surface, glaciers sleep on mountain peaks. So buckle up, we're heading into the Great Basin. This is Mather Point. Here, we're looking out across the Snake Range, where Wheeler Peak towers at over 13,000 feet. From this overlook, the Great Basin stretches before us. And nestled among those trees, bristlecone pines, the oldest living organisms on the planet. Some of these trees were alive before the pyramids were built. Indigenous stories tell of their strength and deep connection to the land. Now we're standing on the Alpine Lakes Loop Trail, and up here, the air just feels different. Every step takes us deeper into a world shaped by wind, rock, and time. And just ahead, that's Wheeler Peak again, watching over it all. This Sewell pine habitat supports mule deer, marmots, and an entire web of life adapted to high elevation extremes. Now I'll welcome you to Stella Lake, a glacial remnant cradled beneath Wheeler Peak. The water is cold, clear, and quiet, fed by snowmelt and shadowed by ancient cliffs. In this stillness, it's easy to forget just how wild and alive the world around you really is. No roads, no buildings, just the raw beauty of a high alpine world, carved by ice and time. If you look closer, the lake is more than a pretty view. Beneath the surface, tiny creatures thrive. Around the edge, pikas and marmots watch from the rocks. A rare kind of peace and a reminder of just how complex nature really can be. While we're walking, it's important to remember that this land has been home to the Newe people, or the Western Shoshone, for thousands of years. Long before the trails and the signs, or even the park name, this was a place of stories and ceremony. They followed the rhythms of the land, hunting, gathering, and honoring sacred places, like the mountains, lakes, and caves. Today, their descendants continue to protect and share these connections, because the Great Basin isn't just a park, it's also a homeland. Now we descend, just for a moment, down through the forest, following the curve of the land toward another hidden gem. This is Teresa Lake, quiet, calm, and tucked just below the tree line. It may not be big, but what it lacks in size, it makes up for in serenity. Look at the way the trees reflect in the water. Even the peaks above are mirrored like a memory. The lake was carved by a glacier long ago, and now it simply rests. A place to breathe, to listen, to just be. Teresa Lake is home to more life than you might expect. Tiny invertebrates thrive in the shallows. Birds rest in the trees above. This isn't just a lake. It's an entire ecosystem. And like everything in Great Basin, it survives through balance. Cold nights, short summers, and just enough meltwater to return each spring. As we near the end of the loop, the forest shows its resilience in a new way. Fallen trees rest beside the living, reminders of all of the storms, droughts, and fires this land has survived. Even here, on the edge of the Alpine zone, life holds on. Every root and stone has a story, and you've just walked through one of them. This overlook gives us one last look back. Wheeler Peak standing tall beneath shifting skies. From here, you can trace the path we've hiked. The forested ridges, the high alpine lakes, the glacier-carved basins. It's easy to forget how far you've come until you see it from above. Take a moment here. Breathe it in. Great Basin is quiet, but it speaks through wind, water, stone, and sky. The view may fade, but I hope this feeling stays with you. Now let's head underground into the limestone depths of Lehman Caves. We'll let Ranger Stephanie take it from here.
Talk about some of those stalactites. You're welcome to take pictures as I talk too. So this cave we estimate is somewhere in the range of 2 to 20 million years old. The oldest formation that we've run uranium, thorium, or uranium-lead dating on came back about 2 million years old, which gives us at least a baseline for that. The rock, though, is much older. The rock is about somewhere between 500 and 550 million years old, and it formed at the bottom of a warm, shallow sea. And that was down by the equator. All of the sediment, basically, at the bottom of that warm, shallow sea, over thousands of years, compacted into a sedimentary rock called limestone. If you've been in caves before, you're likely familiar with limestone. But we're in Nevada, we're not at the equator. We needed plate tectonics to kick in and shift and move that rock all the way up to this point. And we are at Great Basin National Park. Part of what that encompasses is what's called the basin range topographical area. Now typically, when we think of mountain building, we think of plates crashing together. But here, the Earth's crust is stretching apart.
Long before modern tours, Indigenous peoples knew these lands and their underground chambers. Archaeological evidence shows the cave was used intentionally as a sacred burial site. At the request of Shoshone descendants, rangers do not answer questions about Shoshone burial practices in the cave, honoring tribal wishes for privacy and respect. This sacred space continues to hold deep meaning for the tribe today, and the park maintains its quiet hush and respectful approach in that spirit. As we drive back down from the mountains, the Great Basin stretches behind us, quiet, ancient, and still unfolding. We've walked through glacial lakes, alpine forests, and marble caves. We've stood beneath bristlecone pines and limestone ceilings, but this place is more than what we saw. It's what we felt. And the wildest part, Great Basin is always here, waiting, changing, and ready to be explored again. Until next time, keep wondering, keep exploring, and keep protecting wild places.